Recording has started.
Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself in this weird, wild, wacky world of ours, and welcome to an exciting installment of Darkness in Dublin. This evening's scene the Theatre Royale, just outside the heart of the inner city centre. As a number of kindred have gathered together in order to discuss the matters of the day, we will join them as they enter. I don't care in which order you introduce yourselves, just introduce yourselves.
Where are we again?
Something royal.
You're in the city's Elysium, the hotel. You're in the city's Elysium, the Theatre Royale, a disused cinema.
Oh yes. Fidel will have himself in our lobby area, lounging on one of the, I assume, many seating areas present. Just kind of keeping to himself. He has a bowl of grapes next to him, but if anyone actually looks at the grapes, they are made of plastic because he can't eat grapes. Or anything for that matter. But they look fancy.
Isn't that best? You know what? Just to make matters official, and if Shayna doesn't mind, how about Anais and Katya have just, done a transaction where Anais is putting a bottle in her bag and a boon, minor boon, is written
Kind
down.
of a like a clay jug, because sanguineous file is weirdly specific.
Clay jug is also fine, and Anais will sort of make a sort of half curtsy. Thank you, Lady Primogen. I am sure this will come in handy at a tight spot.
They certainly do. Learned that myself recently. Katya knows neither of these people very well, so...
Also, I point out the last time you saw this character, he was dressed in a suit, not a dress.
I mean, she does not care.
I mean, you might not even be able to tell it's him.
True.
By the way, Liam, do me a favor. Keep trying your Discord for me, okay?
Yep, I'd already noticed. Fidel peeks his head up as he seems to peer around cautiously. As though trying to notice something that is just out of his perception.
The Elysium's actually quite deserted this evening. No one of real import or station is in tonight. There are one or two occasional faces that you'll see, and Nosferatu darting here and there, or or one or two faces of the evening. But so the prince is still. He is currently meeting with the heads of other influential cities in Berlin in order to discuss the situation in Paris and how best to recapture so much lost ground. So this was rather sedate, I'd say is the correct word.
I mean, that's not a bad thing. Anais will pick up a newspaper and just, goes over the news.
You two wouldn't happen to be hearing something, would you?
I'm not. I don't know about our friend here.
No, I do not. What would you be heading?
Pretend I haven't said anything. Carry on with your evenings.
But now you've piqued my curiosity.
Some mysteries are best left untold.
Oh well.
Though I suppose I am one for a story.
Yo.
Hello there.
Yeah, I'm gonna speak now. Just I don't want any introduction to me. Just be me, just going. You know.
It's fine if it helps, Scott. I live for your heavy breathing.
Fidel would blink rather suddenly as though taken by surprise, and you would notice as his nose begins to bleed, he would raise his forefinger to his nose, just lightly touching it, and then very curiously examining the blood on his finger before his head peeks up towards what you could probably tell clearly now is some sort of unheard sound.
Katya will take out a handkerchief and hand it to him.
Ah, thank you, my dear.
Yes. Give the handkerchief back to the Tremere. Give her your blood. Do it.
Shut up, Ryan. On a side note, Mr. Formo can enter before I go any further.
Sorry, what was the introduction? My apologies.
It's just an average night in the Elysium.
Ah.
It's
Elysium
quiet.
regular intensifies. Yeah, Ryan would get up from his normal sitting spot, where he annoys people. Like he walks up to them and goes, "You're in my spot," and then like stares at them until they go away. Gets up from that spot and approaches, cup of wine in hand.
Is Ryan's hobby just bullying neonates?
It is. It's I just T-pose on them to assert dominance because I have one strength. Okay. It's like, it's just like the neonate goes to say anything. I'm like, shut the fuck up, neonate.
They're like, ah, shit, the creepy man's back.
Yeah, that fucking weirdo is back. He's probably gonna like fondle me or something. Anyway, yeah, I digress. Ryan would. I assume you sitting at a table, yeah? Are you sitting?
Yes, I think we were sitting.
No, I think they're
Katya actually
I was gonna
approached
say,
Fidel.
I think that Fidel just stood up and suddenly his nose started to bleed. Basically, that's what you guys have perceived.
Ah. Okay. In that case, I'm going to swivel around in my chair. Recommend tilting your head back.
Thank you, I know the old trick. I hope I'm not interrupting the evening.
I was wondering if this was a regular occurrence for you.
Not really.
I see.
I'm not one of those.
Well,
All right. Is there a back entrance? I need to go.
Well, to be fair, you do look rather anemic. Nosebleeds would not be out of the ordinary.
No. We need to go. Now.
Oh. Why is that?
He's coming.
Whomst?
Who?
I don't bloody know. He's coming.
Very well. I start to draw a door on the floor with a piece of chalk.
It is at this moment, kids, that the door opens, and you see two figures step in out of the rain. One of them is holding an umbrella up over the other so that he doesn't get wet. As they step inside, you ladies and gentlemen will see this is the individual who has the umbrella held over him.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yay.
Do you know this person?
That was more
That was a
out of
purely out of
character.
character, for fuck's sake.
It was, because I've seen his fucking sheet.
Local man with Midas area.
The other individual who steps... other individual who's in with him looks like this. He is the one holding the umbrella. If anyone would like to make me a perception alertness check, difficulty 8, they can do, minus your aspects level.
Okay.
Slightly better.
I'd forgotten this was a picture of a Zabrak. There we go.
Slightly more important question. Do I know who this is?
You've never seen it before.
Oh, good.
One thing about it is it's just slamming in the back of your mind. The one thing that you hear... Actually, I'll write it to you.
Evan, I also have a question. After you're done writing, probably.
Yep. I got it.
Oh, I mean, Saskia, feel free to ask me a question.
3 successes.
Does either my spirit mentor or my oracular ability help me in any way, shape, or form with this?
What were we
Do you
rolling?
want to roll me your oracular ability? Huh?
Do
Huh?
I?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
Yeah, you do.
Do you want me to roll perception alertness first, or just go straight to that?
Yeah, roll me the perception alertness first.
Okay.
Scott, weird question. Did you succeed on it? Because you're the only person who won't have to make the following
I have-
perception alertness check.
Yeah, 4 successes.
I
Yeah.
have 1 success.
This gentleman here, for those of you who can see him, you see him smile very briefly. He has pointed shark-like teeth.
What was it? Difficulty 5.
Row upon row of them. So, difficulty 8 minus your aspects level.
Oh, okay. I have that.
I was going to say, I think so. I'll give you this 10.
I do not have it, but I still have 1 success. Yay!
That was a 2.
Yeah, with the one success, you get the flash of the teeth. Bit weird. Once again, Ryan is the only person in the room who will automatically know what that means.
Yes, I do.
And he is the one who is holding the umbrella over the other one.
No. Excellent. I hope
So,
that's an independent. I really do.
You hope. So what? Sorry.
I hope that one's independent. Oh, that laugh was terrible.
Everything hurts.
So I'm just waiting for people to finish their rolls. If people want to make me an intelligence kindred lore check, difficulty 9, needing a threshold of 3 successes, they can. Ryan, you get the information for free because you have interacted with this particular bloodline before. But that is how rare they are that you would require the intelligence kindred lore difficulty 9 with 3 successes to know what they are, or to even know that they exist. They're really rare.
I got a success.
Beg your pardon?
I got a success.
On the intelligence kindred lore?
Yes.
You needed 3 successes, I'm sorry.
Well, I have 1.
And unfortunately,
So
I
you're
don't
like,
think her thing comes into play. Her specialty comes into play here because it's calculating. So
what's a
no,
special?
Nope,
That
I
does
don't
not
know.
come into play.
because
Nope, Ryan is the
it's
only person
2
in the room who
successes
knows what he is.
with 2 10s.
Together we can figure it out.
However, Saskia, do you want to roll me your oracular ability? Huh?
Yeah,
Huh?
sure. That's perception awareness, right?
I'm not actually sure. I think it might be.
The way we rolled it in Odessa is perception awareness and then perception occult to interpret the vision.
Hang on, let me just make sure, because I'm actually in the merit section of the book. I just want to double check for my own notes, because if it's just you get a vision, I'll just give you a vision. As we leave Scott to shit himself in the corner, it's fine. He could
Yes.
be a nice shark man.
Yes. These edibles ain't shit.
I mean, yeah, that's how life works. Yeah, perception plus awareness. Yeah, so roll me your perception plus awareness roll. The difficulty relative to how well the omen is concealed. Yeah, roll it for me. Difficulty 3.
Oh, Jesus.
It's not concealed at all.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
Okay. Hi, Saskia. How's it?
Hi. You
Uh,
hadn't fucked someone up in a while, didn't you?
I mean, shut up, Saskia. Okay, what you see is as follows. You are standing on a blood-red field that extends as far left and right as the eye can see from horizon to horizon. On this field, there are stood 1,000 more people who are all black silhouettes against a red backdrop. You then see a single figure, all in white, walk to the front of this gathered crowd. You then see what appears to be. Yeah, I'm going to use that analogy. You then see what appears to be, old timey, old timey film reels that they used to show movies on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like film grey.
Yeah, explode from their heads, and they are consumed by the man standing in front of them. At which point you see blood explode from their necks, and as one, all 1,000 fall like raindrops on the ground after the film has essentially been consumed.
Yay.
What do you eat with
I'm
delicious
not going to
wine
give you a roll
spaghetti?
to interpret that because I'm not going to give you a roll to interpret that because Saskia can interpret that well enough.
I think I interpreted that well enough, yes.
There you go.
Oh boy.
Oh my! I do beg your pardon. I didn't mean to intrude. The figure says as he like you, Ryan. He also carries a stick.
Oh.
He has a cane. Mm.
Fidel is going to find solace and
Have
comfort
we
in his
intruded
mask.
on something?
Fidel's going to put on his mask that he always carries with him because it makes him feel comfortable.
Okay. For the record, they're screaming that over and over in your head. It's like if you think about your skull being a shield or being a ward, it's like they're smashing against the outside of it.
Yeah,
Welcome to the Madness Network.
He's also crumpled up on the floor, just kind of cradling himself.
Are you familiar with canaries?
Why, yes.
Yes. It was often practiced where I lived, and I'm sure many other places in the world, that miners would take them down in the mines. Their lungs were small, and as a result, they would collapse first if there was a gas leak of some kind, informing the miners that they needed to leave. I point at Fidel. That is my canary.
I'm sorry, I can't take your call right now. Please respond after the tone.
For the record, this figure walks into the light, and you see the fact that his skin is as pale as is seen here. He's not overly tall, but his skin is that kind of slate milk white, and he has an appearance of four. His appearance spec is otherworldly, as he says, my, I'm so sorry. Can I help you?" He extends his hand to you on the ground.
Do the voices stop?
No, they get louder.
He's gonna crawl away. It's so loud.
Oh. My. How very interesting. My apologies. He extends his hand to Ryan, and he says, "Pleasure to make your acquaintance."
I meet his gaze and shake his hand. Ryan for Mo.
As you look at his wrist, you see the butterfly shown in the screen tattooed on his wrist.
Are you one of Marconius's brood?
No.
A reasonable assumption given the context, but by all means.
I predate what Marconius calls his brood. I think that you and I share a somewhat similar connection.
Of course, the life of independence is appealing to a free man of my sensibilities.
He looks down the group line, and he will say, "What an interesting gathering." He walks to next to Katya, and he will extend his hand. "A pleasure to meet you, mademoiselle." It's very hard to place his accent because it's a little touch of everywhere. Either that or he's purposefully masking what it actually is.
You shall extend a hand. Primogen Katya von Essen, Clan Tremere.
Ah, yes. Very interesting. I've always enjoyed the company of blood thieves.
Mm-hmm.
She's not going to say anything.
My dear, you and I are rather in a similar business. How would I say? We both enjoy the exquisite taste of the vitae of others. So I would think that in your particular case, you should own what you are rather than languishing away from it. Would you not agree?
Not all of us partake in that.
Oh my. An idealist. Oh, tragic.
Yeah, I look over at
He just walks on.
I look over at the pointy boy and Inanoki, and I go, "But the soul is so much sweeter."
He shrugs. You can tell he understood you. His response is, "However, life is but the wrapping to however, life is but the shell to the true delicacy."
Yes, a chrysalis of sorts.
Last but not least, he'll come to Anais. "Hello."
Hi.
He extends his hand.
Buddy.
She'll curtsy.
"A pleasure to make your acquaintance. And you are one of Marconius's brood." Huh. Interesting. "It has been too long since I have seen Strasbourg. I'm sure that they still debate like children, but that's neither here nor there."
Sometimes a discussion is the best art.
"Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Master Farashah, called by some the Butterfly Prince. It is a pleasure to make all of your acquaintances."
It's not often I meet a fellow Rhaegar.
We are married. But then again, how would I phrase it? The sin in our creation is the shattering of the dream.
Mm. Yes, I suppose it's an unfortunate situation. What I could have learned,
Quite.
we'll see.
I suppose I should at least make your friend comfortable. Hey, Scott, he does something. Sorry, all of you can feel him do something. You're not exactly sure what. But, Liam, the voices stop talking to you.
What? He kind of freezes in place, not sure how to feel about this. But he slowly gathers his composure.
You're now getting just the... Okay. The way I've always kind of pictured the Madness Network is, in general, to a Malkavian, it's like they're playing... Somebody's always playing the radio really quietly in the background, unless you really try to focus in on it, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, essentially, what has happened is it's gone back to its normal background levels of sound, essentially.
Okay.
Question, because I don't know Katya's. Katya, do you have Auspex 6 or do you not?
Oh god, no. She has Aspect 3.
Okay, because it's only Francis who has the high enough Auspex to spot this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Out of character, would you like me to tell you what he's done? Because I sense Liam really wants to know.
Yes, I do.
Liam?
I do want to know.
Basically, what he's done is he's essentially used Path of Mercury to teleport himself away, but he's left a chemistry-based doppelganger standing where he was standing that he is controlling remotely.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. That's some good combo discipline usage right there. But from everyone's perspective, he is still standing right there. Nothing happened. You just kind of felt a wash of energy for a brief moment, but then it was gone, and the voices stopped screaming at you. So, I've come in order to make a deal. I'm assuming you're all enterprising individuals here.
You would be correct in this thinking, at least on my part.
Good. To understand, in the city at the moment, you are playing host to a kindred whom simply names himself Morpheus. I merely wish to know where it is that this entity has taken as his haven.
Well,
He snaps his fingers, at which point the very large... this entity must have huge size as a merit. He stands about 6'3", 6'4", and he must weigh about the kind of the 400 or 500 pound solid muscle mark. He just kind of steps forward. He takes a briefcase that he's holding in his left hand and he clicks it open on the table. He opens it and he then turns it. Inside of which you will see there are at least 12 vials of blood. Each one of these vials has a clan symbol on it. Some of them you don't, or has a symbol that denotes a clan or bloodline on them. Some of them you just don't recognize. But most of them you do. They have all of the core Camarilla and Sabat clans in there, as well as the marks of the followers of Set. The followers of Set. They don't have the Giovanni. However, if any of you could recognize the Cappadocian symbol, they have it. and the Ravnos are in there as well. The rest of them you don't really recognize. They're very old or very obsequious.
Yeah, they don't have the Jeep on it because they're not a real clan. Sorry. Continue.
Also, like your hate towards the Ravnos, man. You need a hug.
Christ. I need antibiotics. That's what I need. Sorry. I'm gonna mute myself.
Oof.
Aye.
But yes, he essentially the blood is then set down on the table in front of you. For the record, Katia, does Katia have the combo discipline Thaumachical Sight? It's actually a combo discipline.
No, she does not.
Okay.
I had planned on taking that one, within the next few months. Because XP.
It's a good one. I do recommend it.
Could you use Mythoseria 2 to detect magic?
Yeah, you can definitely do that. If you want to roll up your Mythoseria 2, or is it just always active? I can never remember.
I'm pretty sure it's just like detect any magic isn't necromancy. But
Any undead magic
Yeah.
will detect.
Yeah, in that case, the vials are definitely magical. You'd assume it's keeping the vitae preserved.
makes sense.
Actually, for who would wish to know, what he's saying is, I have all of this blood, which is essentially access to nearly any unique clan discipline you want, right here in this handy-dandy little service case.
Fidel has very much peaked up, and now he is over there.
You see, it's one of those where recently I came into a bit of an argument with a certain gentleman. You might know his name. Aisha, you familiar?
I am familiar with his work.
Unfortunately, I was forced to come into a bit of a kerfuffle with the gentleman, and looking to claim the boon myself, it was denied me by people who wanted a certain man who's done, well, I'm sure if you have any knowledge of the gentleman, he deserved an extremely painful death. A peaceful passing away. Despite him ripping the heart out of my only surviving Gotiri member right in front of me, but moments before. Very irritated by the whole situation.
From one curious mind, what is it that you wish to do with this Morpheus?
It's quite simple, my dear, really. I merely want to...
My apologies, could you repeat that?
I beg your pardon, Saskia, what did you say?
Well, you were cutting out, so I couldn't understand what you were actually saying.
Oh, he said, I merely require a vial of his blood.
Makes sense given the case.
And you are willing to offer any of these in return?
No, my dear. Willing to offer the case in return.
This deal just got so much sweeter.
We're faced with a rather interesting situation. Katja, what are your feelings on this?
Don't think I'm in a position to say, after all. Morpheus was appointed to the inner council for the
No, he wasn't.
no?
He wasn't. Baharael was appointed the Justicar of Clan Tremere, and Anerael was appointed the Primogen of Clan Salubri in Dublin. Morpheus didn't take an official position. He didn't want one.
Okay.
Hashtag this is what happens when you're on the path of humanity 10.
Can you do it, Captain? Well, I must say I'm not of a particularly fantastic opinion of the gentleman.
figure simply shrugs and he says, I bear the individual no ill will. He is just the piece in a very, very old game that I've been playing for some time.
Nelson, we're at the Elysium.
Okay. No.
I tell you what, I'm just going to go quickly get a drink. I will let you guys bring Nelson up to speed on what is happening, and I'll be back in a few minutes.
Alright, be right back.
This fresh hell of an existence continues despite my efforts.
So we were at the Elysium, and, you know, Fidel had a nosebleed, and then this guy showed up.
Well, look, I'm just saying, our character, Anaga Raja and Amiagar show up. They're both part of the Tel Ra. Just saying, both of the clans. I mean, bloodlines.
Mm-hmm. They are.
Now, what exactly the True Black Hand would want with the blood of Salubri is... Maybe if they ask him nicely and say it's for a good deed, he'll just fucking give it them because he's on 10 humanity.
I also, you know, happen to know this character's sheet very well.
It's full of bullshit.
It's full of bullshit. Because Tremere embraced Kia Seed. Fuck my life.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing a Sombra Embrace, but then I was just like, well, why don't I just make a case seat then? You know, at that point. But
Varishar is a Tremere-embraced Magyar. He is not a Kia Seed.
I mean, when the character sheet was made, he was a Kia Seed.
That's because the Magyar are weird in Dark Ages. But yes, okay, yes. That's because in Dark Ages, Kia Seed or Magyar.
the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Marconius doesn't exist yet.
It's essentially a matter of opinion.
But yeah, so basically, Nelson, as you walk in, there are two individuals standing at a table in the Elysium. One of them is this individual. The other is this individual. One of them has basically got a briefcase laid down on the table that's been opened, and inside there are about 12 different vials of blood. Very small vials, only about the size of your pinky finger, that each have a symbol on them. You will recognize the core clans of the Camarilla and the Sabbat, as well as two independents and one or two that you just don't recognize. And they're just sitting there, and they appear to be having some kind of a discussion. That is what you'll get as you enter. There you go.
Yeah, just enter and then to next to Kasha, the only person he knows right now in the room. Kind of looks like her. What's going on?
I'll explain later, dear.
In Enochian, I just look, I look over and just like, by the by, did the owner of my book get it? If you understand my meaning.
They shrug. I have no idea what you're talking about. I believe you may have me... Oh, hang on, I'll put this picture. I believe you may have me confused with someone else.
Mm-hmm. I'm weighing it off my head right now. Because to be honest, like, not Ryan's not a big fan of Goody Two Shoes, but it's one of those.
But Ryan also doesn't know where he.
Well,
I don't think anyone in the room knows where he lives. I mean, Katya could text Francis, but
I thought he was making his home in the church.
No, he bugged out of the church a very long time ago, and he never came back to it. That was when there were apparitions in the church of a divine angelic being who was healing the sick. He's since left the church. In theory, you could quite easily find where he is, but it would take resources and actually looking to find him.
Fidel is
So
probably willing to do this.
at present, none of you know where he is. Or where he lives, rather.
yeah, I mean, Katya could text Francis and be like, "Hey," but she's not going to do that.
I really want that ravenous blood.
Fortunately, it appeared that it may be the case that I am not privy to the information you seek, which is ever so unfortunate. And he pointed at the box. I would love to get my hands on much of that, but I don't believe I am able to. Though, if you are in the neighborhood and he holds out his business card, please do give me a call.
You will see as you hold out the business card to him, it is said his retainer or his servant who steps forward and takes the card. The individual just stands there with his arms folded across his chest. But the business card is taken by one of them.
Okay.
I see. Very well then. Well, I know that in the event that you come into such information, an enterprising individual such as more than pleased to contact me. He jerks. He jerks his head. At which point, the Nagaraja reaches into his own coat and he withdraws. It's not a business card per se. It is literally just a what you'd assume is a burner cell number that's been printed on a card, and he holds it out towards you.
Take the card.
Very good. I think that we have an agreement. Now, unfortunately, the night is very long, and I have many things that require my attention. So,
with your due respect, would you mind if I copy that number?
By all means.
To be fair, she's not asking your permission yet.
if you will excuse me. Oh, another business card, if you ask for it, is given to you, Saskia.
Okay.
Fidel's also going to ask for one.
You will all get business cards.
Yay!
You get a business
Yes,
card.
you get a business card. You get a business card.
Everybody gets a business
card.
They're really nice until you realise he's gone to a really generic business card website to get these made.
Yeah.
Now then, excuse me. Maintaining this level of concentration is tiring. At which point the entity will simply vanish. It's like it blinks out of existence, if that makes sense. Not like teleportation, which is big and flashy, but essentially it's like it just... At which point you will see this man, once again. He steps forward. He will pick up the briefcase full of blood. He will close it. He will give you a polite bow, and he will simply start to walk towards the door.
Yeah. Look over at Katya. Looks like we have ourselves an Easter egg hunt.
I suppose.
There are sinful things I would do for that case.
It seems I walked into the middle of something.
Tell you what, porcelain man. My head jerks. I assume you're not interested in the same kind of what's the word? Juju that I am. Perhaps we could come to some sort of arrangement.
You know, I was thinking the exact same thing. By the way, just to clarify, he is in a full dress.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm just saying, I'm not saying I'd hit Trap Fidel, but I'd hit Trap Fidel, okay?
And he looks damn fine while doing it.
He's appearance 6. He always looks damn fine.
Yeah. It's like, I ain't gave it sanguineous is sanguineous.
That is true.
Nothing will ever beat that time when they defenestrated a Bruja and the Asimite just calmly stepped in and closed the curtains. Sorry, not kidding.
Oh, Lord.
What did I walk in the middle of?
Not a fucking clue.
I'm not sure. I believe... Well... He was looking for a specific person who none of us had knowledge on.
Well,
At least the information he was seeking.
I must say it is often rare that I meet a fellow, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't say clanmate, bloodline, friend, I fucking, whatever. Point is,
Bosom buddies.
that's the one. I'll take that. Yes, but seeing him next to that large gentleman I must say that made me raise an eyebrow.
I was going to say it was the alarm bells in my head that made me raise the eyebrow.
Yes, the Malkavian Canary. I like that metaphor. I'm definitely going to use that again.
And he mentioned something about a deal.
Yes, he was offering those vials of blood for the location of Morpheus.
Oh yeah, why don't you just fucking tell him? Why don't you? Let's just look over, like, angry Facebook emoji, just like.
Be angry all you want, Ryan. I've known this man longer than I've known any of you.
Don't like competition. I shall smile.
No, I do not like competition. Who the fuck likes competition?
She would kind of give Milo a look like, really?
Well, I'm just saying, and besides, I'm pretty sure your boss would be a little bit pissed if you were like, no, I'm aside with the salubri. What's the only moral thing to do? Ryan's not very good at doing voices.
Is that really what I sound like to you?
No, not at all. I'm just terrible at doing voices.
I quite liked it.
Just like looks over at like Trap Fidel, like, yeah, I'm sure you did. Well, one moment, please. I'm just gonna like go gadget Sepulchre Path 3. Evan,
Yes.
can I make a roll real quick to like just command a race to have a gander, have a mooch, go keep an eye out, as it were.
For what?
Yeah, see if I can find the location of Morpheus, because Race are pretty good at doing things like that.
Yeah, sure. However, I will warn you that you are in an Elysium, and doing so here might be a bad idea.
What are they going to be like? You rolled necromancy in my fucking building. Oh,
Well, bear in mind, you're not meant to use disciplines in the building.
okay.
I will point out the guy who just left literally flipped the middle finger to the Elysium rules.
Yeah, he TP'd out and used chemistry, like.
Chemistry, everybody.
Yeah.
It is literally the troll discipline, and I love it.
Yeah. No wonder
That's exactly why Fidel wants.
it's no wonder the Gangrel hate them, because the Gangrel are the most straight up dudes, and it's just like Ravnos, like, hey, I'm here to mess with your shit. Yeah.
It's also because the Ravnos kept kicking the Gangrel's ass.
Yeah.
That too.
Because chemistry is like broked as fuck at high levels.
It
Of
really
course.
is.
Yes, because protein is fair and balanced.
No, okay, yeah, no, I will put right. So, okay, nowhere in the game in Vampire can you do unsoakable levels of damage to someone except with chemistry. It gets broken as shit, and it's just really fucking funny because you can literally make people imagine that they are shitting themselves to death, and they will believe it so much that they will, in fact, literally shit themselves to death from the point of view of their brain to shit themselves into torpor.
Yes.
Because it's fucking funny. I'm sorry, I will forever love chemistry. It's one of my favorite disciplines just because of the ability to troll.
Mm.
The guy in question, because I briefly had him as a character before we figured out he was too evil, he literally decided to declare in the middle of a group of hunters, I do beg your pardon, however, I am a blood-sucking fiend who has come here to daughters, steal your valuables, and have my way with your women. Oh, and so is my friend here. Before he teleported onto the roof and chemistryed himself to look like a chimney.
Gotcha.
So it went to weird places, Jim.
Yeah.
But from behind you, you kind of hear the very casual sound of, well, you don't see that every day.
No, you do
Hello
not.
there.
Hello.
Hello, Whisper Dear.
I reckon Whisper is sitting on the couch. Was Whisper sitting on that couch 30 seconds ago? You don't know, but by God, Whisper's sitting on that couch now.
Is she eating my plastic grapes?
Yes.
Okay.
Except they are now, in fact, real grapes.
Huh. You really don't see that every day.
On a side note, so... seedless. How we all doing? By the way, how's Whisper met everyone here? I think she has. Yes.
She hasn't met Fidel.
I'm sorry, so, guy in a dress, who the fuck are you?
Oh, hello there. I'm Fidel.
Right. And is there a reason that you are literally Rocky Horror picture showing your way all up and down the Elysium?
Because I look good. Especially in high heels.
There's that wonderful moment of blink.
They do have this lovely way of just making anyone look good.
Blink.
It's the Malkavian about. Sorry, it's the Nosferatu about to object to somebody's appearance.
Blink. She shrugs. She clearly doesn't actually care. She's just like, I'm slightly bemused by this.
Yeah.
But she then says, interesting. So, how are we all on this fine evening, my nefarious creatures of the night? And Mr. Fermo, who I'm led to understand is just a creature, but that's neither here nor there.
Aw.
You're welcome.
Oh, wonderful. I found a new business card. Had a conversation with a odd gentleman of the same bloodline, in fact, which is a rather rare occurrence. And
Yeah, aren't there like 10 of you guys?
like
Ah,
literally like 10.
huh. I mean, if it helps, it's always nice to have a friend, I suppose.
Yeah, we don't really talk to each other.
Really? Any particular reason? Or just like, eh? Eh?
I assume it's largely a case of being swallowed up by our work. Though it is rather interesting, this particular person's work came to Dublin, of all places.
There's a shrug. By the way, hi, guy in dress. My name is Whisper.
A pleasure.
She extends her hand.
He will accept it.
She uses potence.
Lovely.
She doesn't actually crush your hand, but you could tell that is a mighty that is a mighty strong handshake they got there. But then again, it's a Nosferatu. What do you want from life?
Lovely.
Now the question is, do I say something or do I not say something? She was probably there already, so I should say something. But if she wasn't there already, what the hell? Nothing ever fucking stays secret anyway. Christ. I'm gonna contract fucking pneumonia and assassinate Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Sorry.
As you do.
But of course, what else would you do if you're dying of tuberculosis? Just fuck it. Start World War One. Yes, I believe this certain gentleman we just had a prior conversation with was looking for the blood of none other than our local hero Morpheus.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, she looks at Annie and says, "You two smell the same."
I like smell myself. Thank you.
No, not you and her.
Her and who?
Or whatever you want to call himself, Lord Farishaw. Frisha. I should call him Frisha. Yes.
Sorry, who are they
But you
pointing
two
at?
smell the same. The Kia seed and Farishaw, she's basically saying smell the same.
Big think. Mega thing. Colossal
Hi,
thong.
Saskia, you there?
Saskia?
I think we may have lost a Saskia.
No, I'm here. Sorry, I was double muted. Which a good thing. Yeah, sorry, what was going on?
Just check, I'm still here, right?
Yes.
I-
Guys?
Yes,
Yes,
you
you
We
are.
can hear
Heaven,
you.
can you hear us, dear?
Okay. Hi, Saskia. How's it going?
Hi. Yeah. Someone's dying.
So basically what Whisper said was you and Farishaw smell the same, so it would make sense, but she hasn't gone into any detail on how you smell the same.
Okay. Let me wake up a little to see how Anais would be responding to that.
Did you fall asleep?
No!
That doesn't sound like
That was an unconvincing no, Saskia.
I botched my subterfuge roll, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's late. I worked, and yeah, stuff. You know, Anais does not know how to respond to that, so she will just nod.
Well, the both of you do that thing, don't you, with the combining and the blending of blood?
I was not aware
It
that he
gives you a
did that.
sense. Hmm?
I was not aware that that was his profession.
You both smell the same, so I assume so.
Hmm. How interesting. Perhaps we could compare notes.
Well, regardless, I think. Like Brian kind of like shrugs as if he's like trying to say something but not say something. The bodyguard he had was he had very very pointed teeth.
I haven't seen one of those in a very long time.
Me neither, but those two in the same place at the same time.
I will point out that you really don't know the. Oh, you might actually. Yeah, no, you probably do know the Black Hand exists.
We
Maggie.
fucking talked to shitloads of them. Like,
No, you talked to Sabat Black Hand. I've never. I will tell you, you've never met a true Black Hand member in my game. Actually, no, you've met one, but you don't know who it is. Continue.
it's just a bit of a well, what's the word I'm looking for? Interesting occurrence, you know.
I quite understand.
Me neither. That's why it's peculiar.
Is the word something that always needs to be understood then?
I think the world is something that ultimately has limited answers. So when it answers in a way that you're not expecting to a question you didn't know you asked, well then, it completely stumps you and takes you for six.
And is that not a glorious feeling?
Depends on how much you like to be surprised. I tend to find that our kind, because of our age and because of how we view the world, we tend to get very upset when and if we are surprised because we like everything to be as we have seen or as we have experienced.
But nothing ever is as it is, as you have.
I mean, all I'm saying is never throw an elder a surprise birthday party unless you really want to get dead quick. Because when you jump out at them sounding surprised, it's all going to get sad.
It's like we got you a cake and it has like fucking 10,000 candles on it, and it just like immediately rot checkly. He just like blows one at me and like blows in his face. He just potence punches his heart out. Oh god!
I thought you were gonna say he's like smashes the cake with 7 potents.
Just like Shrek. Oh Christ!
Needless to say, I don't personally care. Ultimately, you haven't broken any real traditions, and so you go and do what you're going to do. If you want to make a deal with what I will refer to as tall, dark, and looks like a doll, you do that. If you want to not, I don't care. It's not my business.
Yeah, certainly isn't. Quick question: you wouldn't happen to? Well, of course, I'm asking this for the sake of my own intentions, but I seem to be in a reasonable relationship with you guys, and I quite like it to stay that way. If I were to look for Morpheus, any idea what I should be doing?
She just shrugs and she says, we're going to keep track on him, but ultimately, all I'll say is that if your investigations lead to his death, I'll punch your heart out myself.
Understandable. Yes, I must understand that I'm not exactly his biggest fan in the first place, but overall, I'm somewhat apathetic.
Can I ask why that is? Ultimately, he didn't make the decision. Why is it you don't hate the sheriff? The sheriff was the one who made the decision.
Yeah, Ryan
You
kind of
mean the
like
seneschal?
I mean the seneschal.
Ryan kind of like grits his teeth, and it's just like, well, there are many pieces to a puzzle. I suppose it's an option that they took because they were able to take it, and he was the reason they took it. If he had not have facilitated it in the first place, it wouldn't have been an option, and therefore I would have gotten my sweet, sweet, sweet revenge.
Is it really revenge that you care for, or is it the power that having the boon would have given you?
Yeah, it's a bit of both. I'm not gonna lie. I'm an objective person. What can I say? Aren't we all? But the point being was he did irritate me substantially. We had had a, well, at least somewhat cordial relationship right up until he ripped my only Coterie member's heart out of his chest. Kind of like you want to do to me now that, yeah.
Oh no, I don't want to. I said that if it leads to his death, that I would be morally obligated to, because as long as you don't break the traditions, I don't have to care. If you break the traditions, I have to care.
Yes. It's somewhat of a vague situation. If I tell this person and then they go do something bad, does that make me culpable in their actions?
If your actions directly led to the facilitation of an individual's death, then that would be a matter for the prince to decide.
Of course.
Ultimately, look, do I agree with what Beaumont did? That's an interesting question. I've never actually contemplated it. Let me contemplate it. You can actually see that wonderful one where it looks like whispers buffering.
Ding, 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 ding.
Please wait for the elevator music.
She needs a shirt that says "Whispers buffering." Please wait.
No, because Winter just wears that coat that's literally made of pockets.
True.
But she says, I mean, did the bastard deserve to die? Probably. Definitely. Yeah. Did he deserve a good end? Yeah, that goes into metaphysics I don't particularly care to talk about. But ultimately, in one move on the board, they destabilized or shook up the Camarilla to the point that it hasn't actually been shook up since its foundation. So I guess it depends on the point of view you choose to see. Why? I'm curious, Mr. Fremo, what would you have asked for if you had the trophy boon from Clan Tremere?
It's an interesting question. I honestly can't answer that. It wasn't really the boon I was thinking about at the time. Often I tend to be unemotive and make my actions based off of honesty, but I find as kindred the beast is somewhat lustful.
I suppose that's a fair answer. But you do what you do, she shrugs.
I
Ultimately,
suppose.
the Seneschal made his choice.
Yes, ultimately he did.
There's another shrug.
I'm not going to hold it against him, I suppose, but...
That's a lie, but it's a good lie.
I mean...
You also greatly misunderstand that you also think that I care. The answer is that unless it directly affects me, the about 6 people who I actually give a damn about, or makes me have to move quickly from point A to point B, generally speaking, I don't care. So ultimately, you can go beat the shit out of the Seneschal for all I care. The fact of the matter is that as long as you don't break one of the traditions, not my business. Don't have to care.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
People really misunderstand how apathetic I actually am.
Yes. However, though quite contemplative of your actions, empathy is somewhat of an important thing. And apathy is the parallel opposite. Without emotion, you are driven to do things.
I would argue that logic is the death of emotion.
Brian kind of like moves his head from side to side. Perhaps. It's been an interesting conversation. But you've made a fair point. I fail to see how any ramifications might occur from me telling this person basic information that he might be able to find out via other means is, something that would cause me to be liable for any such actions that he would make. But then again, he did just use what I can only describe as ball-bustingly, tradition-breakingly, powerful disciplines within Elysium. That in of itself is cause for concern for a lot of people, I'm sure.
He also offered a very, very high prize. If we don't do it, I'm sure he'll find someone who will.
That's a good point. Somebody wants that juice.
I'm not going to lie, I'm one of the people who wants that juice. I like juice.
Now all of a sudden I just have this image of you with a juice box, and I'm not sure whether to think it's adorable or to be entirely reviled. That's going to be my image for the day. Mm-hmm.
Enjoy it. Or don't, it's your choice.
Though she stands up and she cracks her back and she says, "It's interesting. You can tell an awful lot of people by the way they smell. You know that?"
Yes. I believe that smell, like many other things, give off a certain vibe.
Yeah. Like, for example, I'm surprised that your friends came all that way just to find a specific kindred. They've come from somewhere in the Indian subcontinent, I'm nearly sure, based on the smell of the various different spices, curry, and cumin that I smell from.
Sorry, please continue.
With every single statement, I drive a nail in Ryan's heart.
Oh, Christ.
What?
Oh, no.
I will tell you out of character, Ryan, they are not affiliated with the True Black Hand. Just to stop you having a fucking conniption fit.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Fucking aneurysm abated. Like I was about to burst. I was just like, stop.
Actually, out of character, I'm not a huge fan of the Black Hand as an entity. I think it's okay. Like, I like it as the elite special forces of the Sabbat, but I'm not a huge fan of the True Black Hand. I think it's a bit meh. That's just my own personal opinion. But she stands up and she stretches and she says, "Why have they come all this way? I wonder." Oh well.
Maybe we should ask him.
Maybe we should. Oh, on a side note, Primogen von Essen.
Yes, Whisper Dear.
Why is it that you're constantly trying to get the high-ranking members of the Camarilla assassinated?
Ryan's in the background cracking up.
Not sure I have any idea what you're talking about.
So, I've seen your guest list for this little party that you want to throw.
Wait, that guest list has not been released to anyone.
I've seen the guest list for the little party you want to throw.
Nor has it been made public that event is even happening.
I've seen the guest list for the party you want to throw. I'm just going to keep saying it because it keeps getting funnier.
I just like to assume that Nosferatu know everything that's going on. It makes things a lot easier.
Katya, do you now feel safe in your bedroom anymore?
She didn't really feel safe in her bedroom to begin with.
Like Morgan
Because
Freeman's
another
voice.
specific Nosferatu.
Hooray! You know what you might want to do? It's called raise your auspex. Anyway.
Okay.
Or
Well,
make friends with the invisible people.
By the way, I'd make another suggestion. The password on your personal computer should not be password.
mm, she's smarter than that. She has intelligence for her password would not be password.
You don't assume that she's being literal? I was gonna say it's almost like you blew up in Nosferatu.
Oh.
Hi.
Suppose I'm going to have to start keeping that in a safe then.
I believe an oops is in order.
Well, ultimately, I'm curious why it is you want to gather some of the creme de la creme of kindred society, wherein if somebody were to, I don't know, drop a plane on them, it would literally cripple our entire leadership.
I never thought of that.
Well, see, now you're just giving them ideas.
Yes,
I'm sorry, but I think that the kindred society have greater things to worry about than a sweet transvestite from wherever the fuck they're from. No
I'm
offense,
from
dear.
Mexico. I'm from Mexico.
Oh. Okay, they have more things to worry about than a gringo transvestite.
I like that.
I'm sure you do.
I'm sitting over here trying not to die.
Besides, you mentioned the thing of dropping a plane. I'm fairly sure I met a man who's quite enamored with death who has a pilot's license.
Mel will put a hand on Catcher's shoulder like, it's okay.
What a day. What a lovely day.
Definitely
Yeah.
putting my computer in a safe from now on.
Oh, the safe in your room that has a combination of 6768342.
Getting a new safe.
Gotcha. May I interject? Stop talking.
I'm getting a new safe. That's all there is to it.
One
done.
with an untwistable stomach.
Okay. I'm going to go have a conversation with Francis now.
It's just like fucking like a Nosferatu with like Morgan Freeman's voice, just total silence. You know, you're asleep in your room, and it's just, I can smell you. It's just like, who are you? It's just like,
that would be, insta trigger for her PTSD. Nope.
Nope.
it is I, Nosferatu Morgan Freeman. I'm here monologuing your entire day.
Oh shit.
To be fair, Ryan does kind of look like a Nosferatu Morgan Freeman.
Just like, Katja awoke to the scary sound of Morgan Freeman's voice.
I'm okay with all of the above, by the way, guys. I'm just saying. But yeah, I actually think that's a good place to call this scene. So thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been the scene Dragons Dublin, where what you assumed the Nosferatu weren't watching you. God, have a blessed evening.